In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact morning routine that took me from homeless and helpless, living in my mom's basement, to just several years later speaking on stages and inspiring thousands around the world to live up to their full potential. I can honestly say this process that I'm going to share with you has helped me tap into my healthiest, wealthiest, happiest self. I mean, everything from my finances to my fitness to my fatherhood, my family life, my philanthropy, my fun level, my friends, my freedom. Everything has expanded and exploded all because of what I'm about to share with you in this morning routine. Now, let me just put one thing out there right now. I am not a morning person, and you might be thinking that too. What if I'm not a morning person? Trust me, I get it. I was not a morning person either. Let me share with you a little bit about kind of my history, how I came to become a morning person, why I'm a morning person now, what it's done for me, and then more importantly, how I was able to do it. Like, what's the exact steps, what are the exact processes that I was able to do to turn myself from a night owl to a morning person. A little bit about me. I am a computer engineer, and as an engineer, we are night owls. You know, we used to have hackathons. We would stay up from 10 p.m. to like 4 in the morning doing coding assignments and all the homeworks. And that was just my natural rhythm. I was a self-proclaimed proud night owl. You know, it was us against them. We hated the morning people. And that worked for me for a long time. Even after I graduated school, I went into business, and I continued that lifestyle into my career. I was a tech sales rep, and I would get up and I would, do productive. I claimed that I was more productive at night. So I would do, emails and work assignments and projects and stuff all throughout the night. And that lifestyle worked for a while. I was able to achieve a level of success. I was number one on the leaderboard at my company. I was making good money. I was driving a Mercedes-Benz. But then something happened. And this always is going to be the case for many people. Life started lifing. Life got busy. And all of a sudden, that lifestyle that I hung on to like a crutch, the lifestyle that I claimed was the reason for my success, all of a sudden turned against me, where my life just felt chaotic. And what I would do is I would come home after a long, hard day. I'd get up, and all day long would be chaos, managing clients, managing family obligations, the whirlwind of life. And I would come home and I would have a drink. It was my outlet. I would meet up with friends. We would go out to dinner. I would go and doing happy hours. So that became a thing. Every day was a happy hour. Every day was, taking shots or having a few drinks to unwind and to basically cope with the day. And that took me from a high performer in life, and all of a sudden my life started to spiral out of control, and I became, a victim of that lifestyle. And I hit rock bottom. I lost everything. The job that I was number one at, I became, the lowest performer there, and I ended up getting let go. And I had a beautiful girl. We had a beautiful apartment overlooking the ocean in downtown San Diego. That ended up fizzling, and I had to move out and had to reset my life all over again. And so I that lifestyle took me to a rock bottom place. And in that moment, something had to change. And there I was in my mom's basement. I started getting into personal development, like what do I need to do to get back and take back control of my life again? And the first decision I made was I'm gonna start waking up early. At that time I was waking up at like 9 a.m. I really didn't have anything strong to wake up for, but I started waking up at 5 a.m. I decided I was gonna wake up at 5 a.m. and it was the first time in my life I experienced true peace. I wasn't waking up right into the firestorm of the day. Firestorm of my life. I was waking up right into silence. The birds weren't even chirping yet. There was no emails or notifications. There was nobody expecting anything from me. There was no phone calls, no friends. There was nothing that early. So it was just me, and I got a chance to really try to kind of like tap in and tune into my inner spirit. I would pray and meditate and seek guidance and get big ideas and start getting business plans and started mapping things out. It was the first time in my life I truly found peace and clarity. Also, the biggest benefit is I had more time because I was getting up so early. I had a full 2 to 3 hours before the rest of the world needed me. And so I truly had time. All the things I said I didn't have time to do before, I didn't have time to work on that side hustle. I didn't have the time to do this project that I want to do. I didn't have time to prospect and grow my business. I didn't have time to do all these things because all day my day would just be a random buffet of busyness. Now it's 5 in the morning. It was peaceful. It's dark outside. I had the time. And so it eliminated this excuse that I didn't have time anymore. I was more focused and organized. I would say that one of the biggest benefits was my vibration was enhanced, meaning, all day long, when you wake up into chaos, your day is chaos, your life is chaos. And you carry that heaviness, you carry that tension all throughout the day with you. And so your relationships start to get strained because you're moody, you're low patience, you're snapping at people, you're more irritable, you have less tolerance. And so you don't understand that that's your vibration. That's the frequency you're putting out, is this tense energy. And then you start to attract that kind of negativity into your life. You start to attract, negative experiences, negative people, negative opportunities. And what I didn't realize was that, like, the way I was conducting my day was attracting the outcomes that I was getting. It was attracting the results. And so when I started tapping into the morning, the peace, the clarity, the control, the time, the effortlessness of the flow of the morning, the rest of the day felt like that. And then I started to attract those type of high vibration opportunities, frequencies, people into my life, which started to attract better results into my life. So this one is more of a new, like a law of attraction thing. But when I started getting up early, I noticed my vibration changed. Therefore, the things that I attracted into my life started to change to match the vibration that I had. And that all leads to the fact that because I was getting up and my vibration would be high all day, I didn't feel the need to cope at night. And so it eliminated my self-sabotage. That drink at the end of the night, that going out and splurging and surrounding myself with bad people, bad experiences, bad food, toxic energy, all the things that self-sabotage me got eliminated because now I was going to bed early. All the negative stuff that happens in your life happens after 10 p.m. And so the moment if you're going to wake up at 5, you got to get up a little earlier, right? So it means you got to go to bed a little earlier. And so by going to bed early, I immediately cut out all the toxicity out of my life. And so those are some of the big benefits of what happened as a result of me waking up early. But let me walk you through. So it wasn't easy. It's easy now because this is who I am now. I wake up at 4 a.m. now every day to tap into that peace. But it was a transition period. And so let me walk you through how you could do this for you. Maybe you struggle with this and you've wanted to do this, or maybe you get up early sometimes and then you go back to your old ways because it's a hard habit to stick with. And so I'm going to share with you an easy process of how I was able to make the transition. And I look at this like all you're looking for is 1 hour. I call it the power hour. It's only a 1 hour, it's only a 1 hour shift. That's not that big. And so all you need to do is go to bed 1 hour earlier so you can wake up 1 hour earlier. All you need is 1 extra hour of peace in the morning to do this. And I call it your uninterrupted, unadulterated, peaceful alone time that you can work on you before you have to work on the world. And so that's your power hour. And I'll break it down in a minute of what you do in that power hour. But the very first step to establish a power hour is you got to wake up 1 hour earlier than your first obligation. So that's going to be your hardest part, which means you got to go to bed 1 hour earlier. So to get your power hour established, the first thing you're going to need is a power down hour the night before. So my wake up time is 4 a.m. For me to get about 7 hours of sleep, I need to be in bed by 9 p.m. So my power down hour starts at 8 p.m. From 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the time that I need to start winding down my day. And your goal is to bore yourself to sleep. That's going to be so hard because we're wired to ignite at night. Like that's the time we get to relax and unwind and just like numb ourselves with just like everything toxic social media, toxic TV, toxic food. Like we just numb ourselves with toxicity at night. And so this is going to be hard, is that you're going to have to learn how to wind your brain down instead of doing those things that fire your brain up. And so here are a few tips of what I do at night to wind my brain down. One of the good ways to do is just to read a book. Reading is boring. Again, the object is to bore yourself to sleep. So if you can turn off the TV, disengage with devices, and pick up a book and start reading, at least for me, within 10, 15 minutes, I'm a couple of pages in and I'm already yawning. And so reading a book in bed is a great tool to wind your brain down. Another powerful one is a meditation. Now, meditation, a lot of people do it in the morning. meditation is often used, it's just a way to quiet the mind. And so a lot of people start their day with meditation. They start their day cleaning the slate from yesterday, setting the tone for the new day. It's also a great way to end the day because you're trying to quiet an active mind. And that's really what you need to get your brain to release the day so you can go to sleep. And so oftentimes at night, I got these sleep headphones. They're called Oslos. And they're super, super thin flat. And so you put them in and you can actually sleep with them all night long. They last 8-hour battery life. And I put them in my ears and I play a meditation and it puts me to sleep. And so sleep meditations is one of the greatest hacks to help turn your brain off at night if you suffer from an overactive mind that won't let you go to sleep. And then another great tool that you can put in your arsenal is to schedule something first in the morning that's going to actually force you to go to bed early. I remember I golf. I love to golf, and I recognized that it was easy for me to get up for 5 a.m. to be at the golf course at 5 a.m. I wanted to play Torrey Pines here in San Diego, a world-renowned golf course, and it's always super packed. So the only way you're going to get on that course is if you get there by 5 a.m. to get your name on the wait list. It was no problem for me to wake up at 3:30 in the morning so I can sneak out of the house with my golf clubs and drive all the way down so I could be there at 4:30 before the wait list even opened. I had no problem because it was something on my calendar that I was looking forward to and I expected, and it got me up that next day. First of all, it forced me to go to bed the previous night because I knew I had something to be up for. And then it got me up the next day and it ensured that I got my day started. And so what could you schedule? An easy one is like a fitness class. I do spin, and oftentimes I'll schedule a 5 a.m. spin class at a local spin studio. Something that I have hard-coded on my calendar that's going to force me to get up. So going to the gym, a fitness class, preferably something where there's other people involved because they expect you to be there. That's a really good anchor to force you, almost like it's an accountability point. And so can you schedule an appointment on your calendar, a fitness class? We have these coaching programs called the Morning Hero, where we have accountability groups that meet at 5 a.m. It's the anchor of their day that gets them up in the morning. And so what can you schedule in your appointment? This is like the ultimate hack. That's where there's other people involved that expect you to be there or to expect you to show up. That's going to help you go to bed earlier the night before because you know you've got this thing. You can't stay up till midnight, till 1 in the morning goofing off because you've got this thing the next day that you have to report to. That's going to really help you build that new habit. And so the power hour, this is going to be your anchor for your day. The most powerful hour of your day is going to set the tone for everything. Now, okay, you're waking up early. What do you do in that 1 hour block? I'll walk you through what I call the WIN formula, WINS, win, spell wins. And it's going to be how you win the morning. So a morning hero wins every day. And so it's an easy way to remember this 4-step formula. It's 5 steps. The first step isn't a part of the acronym though. But the first step is really just to quiet the mind and listen. So you can call this meditation. You can call this prayer. Oftentimes for me, it looks like prayer. And so I'll just close my eyes and I'll have it like a 10-minute timer. And I'm just listening for guidance from the universe. You can call it the universe, the Holy Spirit. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just listening for guidance from a higher power. And so I'll first start off by being grateful. Saying, hey, thank you for this. Thank you for my wife. Thank you for my kids, my beautiful family. Thank you for everything in my life that's going well and not well. Because even the things that's not going well right now, I know there's a lesson in there. You're showing me something that's going to lead me to my greatness. Thank you. So I'll just kind of go through a list of gratitude. And then I start listening for advice. I start listening for signs. I'll start listening and waiting to hear some words of wisdom. And oftentimes I'll get a nugget. And that's just with some peaceful stillness. And so that's step one, is just sit still and listen. Listen to where you're being guided. Then we're going to get into the wins. The W stands for wins and losses. So I'll pull my journal out and I'll journal for a couple of minutes. What were my wins from yesterday? What were my losses? What were the things that I did not do well? And then what are the things how can I fix it? So if I had to do yesterday all over again, what would I do differently yesterday? So this is really just to reflect on yesterday and pull the nuggets of wisdom out so that you don't keep making the same mistakes over and over. The I stands for set your intentions. This is probably the most powerful part, because this is where you're going to actually take, the goals and things you're working on and drill it down to what's your action plan for today that's going to make this a successful day for you. And I like to come up with your top 5 actions, the top 5 things that's going to move the needle in your health, wealth, and relationships. And so that's oftentimes it's exercise and diet. That's for health. Reading a book or something for growth. Doing one big action for my business, and putting a smile on somebody's face. The more smiles I put in the world, the more the universe will make me smile. And so every day I'll have 5 big intentions that's going to define what I call the 5-star day. And my goal then is just to have a 5-star day. So it gives you a really clear structure of what a winning day looks like. And so again, this is all in front of your journal, just setting your intentions. And then the final part is everything on your calendar. This is where you actually plan your perfect day on your calendar. So I'll start at 5 a.m., the time I wake up, all the way down to 9 p.m. Every single hour has to have something scheduled. And so I'll take all my intentions and schedule it hour by hour on my calendar. And so by the time I'm finished, my calendar has no blank space. We call this the zero calendar, because when there's zero blank space, there's zero wasted time. So this is how you really dial in your time management. Don't just have a random to-do list. Put everything on your calendar, because now that's an action plan. That's not just a random set of actions that keep you busy. Now you have a plan of how you're going to execute everything. And then the S, the final part, is the sweat. And so that first 3, the WIN, takes about 30 minutes in front of a journal. Then the next 30 minutes is sweating. And so I'll go hit the pavement, I'll go for a run. Even some days I'll just go for a walk, just to kind of clear my mind. Oftentimes I'll do something like go to the gym, do a spin class or something where you want to sweat, because the sweat is a symbol that you've pushed past your comfort zone, and it officially activates your mindset for the day. It activates your discipline. Now you go through the whole day with a higher set of confidence, with this sense of victory, like, no matter what happens all day long, I've already won the day, because I won the day with myself first. And so you need sweat. You need something to visually show like you're a warrior, that you won the day. And so that, like I said, that can easily just be a run, walk, or hit the gym and actually go do a real sweat session. And so this is the winning formula. This is how you win the day, or wins in this case, with sweat and the S to it. And this is the perfect power hour. Every day, 30 minutes in front of a journal, 30 minutes of sweat, and then now you're ready to take on the day. And so this, for me, is my power hour. I start at 4 a.m. I do this power hour from 4 a.m. from 4 to 5. But then I'll have an extra hour, because my kids wake up at 6. From 5 to 6, I got time to actually work on a big project or get knocked down a couple of big items off my list. Before the world even by the time the kids wake up, I've already crushed the day. I've started with my mind, I've started with my spirit, I've started with my body, and then I've also started knocking down the top 3 things on my list. No matter what happens all day long, the day is already won. I've already done everything I need to do today, because I've mastered the morning. And this process is so powerful. I actually built an app to automate it, essentially, to walk through this win process every single day. The Morning Hero, you can download the Morning Hero app, and it'll help you build this habit of winning every single day. Inside the app, there's a 7-day transformation. By the end of the 7th day, you'll officially be a morning hero, where this thing is just easy. Every day, you're winning automatically and on purpose and in control of your life again. And so if you want this easy button, go download it inside the App Store. Again, it's called The Morning Hero. And let me know what you think. What's the hardest part for you of waking up early? Leave a comment and let me know what's been your struggle so far with your mornings. See you in the next video, guys.